All right, we are live for your Friday night Motor Madness from Charlotte. Katie Haas and Randy Pemberton. We got to toss it out to our good guys in Beaumont. More of that fertile compaction. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
We looked it up, and there's nothing in the dictionary about that, Mike. It's one of your Gallowayisms.
That's
I
right.
think.
Ralph Shaheen?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it, a Gallowayism. All right, Professor, we got a different kind of surface here to go racing on, and a different racetrack as well. How do you think it's going to play out for the monster trucks here tonight?
The track is a lot longer than we normally run. I think you're going to see a lot more speed down the straightaways. They need to be concerned with the turns, because also in the turns there's a car. You're going to have to be real aware of that. I think that a lot of times the turning is going to into the perspective on this. Tonight it's going to be a speed night.
Who do you like?
I think it's David Morris, the equalizer. He's had trouble all year long. Finally, I think all the bugs are out of the truck. Should be his turn.
Okay, now let's take a look at Pro Arena truck points. Coming into Beaumont, there's quite a battle going on between the big bulldog of Joe BROZOVICH and the little, as you call it, Pekingese of Rory Fisher. As you can see, a 6-point difference coming in here tonight. Is this a bulldog night or a Pekingese night?
I think the Pekingese has got the kind of power that's going to take to run down the straightaway. He's only 6 points behind. The guy is really, really on kill. He wants this championship. Could be a Pekingese night.
And he's got a secret weapon, which we'll get into a little bit later on here tonight, Rory Fisher. Well, there is a third member of our broadcasting crew, as you know. His name is Fred Barnson. Now, Fred likes to take special assignments, and one of the things he wanted to find out about is what happens and how does a Pro Arena truck get to the arena? So we sent Fred on assignment to find out a little bit more about Pro Arena trucks.
Well, you're looking at the heart of the big dog, and I got the owner of the big dog right here, John Haggerty. John, you're not a regular Pro Arena truck driver, but when it's near Kansas City, you run.
This is true. We've run 2 out of the last 3. First year we did pretty well in it. We're real happy. So we went ahead and we put this together to compete in it. Ran the second year, had some mechanical problems. Last year, wife kind of gave me a little bit of a hard time, and we didn't go to it, but this year she's eased up.
Martha Haggerty, what do you think of John's racing habits?
As long as he doesn't break anything, he'll do fine.
I see a real expensive part right here. What does that happen to be?
That's the one part of the vehicle I'll let my friend Brian engineer. That's my overflow can.
Wow, that's high tech there.
That's very high tech.
But that's what it is about the Pro Arena trucks. You can put some together and go race it. Now, speaking of going racing, you're going to hop in this thing, drive it to the arena, and race tonight. Am I right about that?
Yeah, my understanding is you're riding with me.
John, is there anything I need to know before we get going here in the big dog?
Nope, just sit back, enjoy the ride.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
Good.
Trucks, here I come.
Okay. Well, here we are at the arena. We drive our Pro Arena truck right here to the arena. We're getting ready to race it. Now, what did I think of the ride? Well, John, I wouldn't exactly call it a date car, but it was quite exciting.
I enjoyed it. You're saying I'm not a good date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big dog is making big tracks tonight.
A 53 F100.
Well, these are great trucks. These are absolutely wonderful trucks. And this one is on the top of nice. And it keeps on going. Old Fords never die. They just turned into hot rods and Pro Arena trucks.
That's it. And I'll tell you what, it's almost big enough. If he doesn't do well in the Pro Arena trucks, he can qualify for the monster truck show.
Well,
if he can keep it running.
No, we've dropped. Parts came from underneath, Ralph.
There's one of them right there.
That's it.
Hope he's got friends in the crowd. He's going to need a lift home.
It's on 5. Over to Mike, go.
Actually, he did have a friend in the crowd, and that was me. I gave him a lift back to his house, and I must say I owed him one, but it wasn't quite as fun as a ride out. Meanwhile, unfortunately, John Haggerty's not going to be with us this week, but hey, there's a lot of great stories down here and a lot of great racing to come. Back to you, Ralph.
Oh, that's Fred Good Samaritan Bartson for giving him a ride home. Hey, stay right where you are, because we're coming right back to our giant carport here in Beaumont, and we're going to go arena cross racing when we come back to Texas. Welcome back, everybody. You know, Mike, earlier this week, I had a friend of mine from the American Speed Association call up who said, you know, we've been watching your shows. We love this pro arena truck stuff. And now I'm telling you, every time I'm riding through the countryside with my wife in the car, I'm scouring the countryside looking for what I think could be the perfect pro arena truck. I'm starting to hear that from a lot of people. I think the deal is, folks, if you're interested in going into pro arena truck, next time you're going down that backcountry road and you see that 73 Blazer sitting out in the field, you better pull over and get it because somebody's going to do it soon. We checked with all the racers here tonight to find out where do you get them.
I found this Bronco laying in the back lot of a used car dealer, spent about $1,000 on it, and then started racing it.
Got a buddy I work with. I seen it sitting one day in his yard, and I offered him $100 for it, and here it is.
I bought the truck for $2,500. The box rusted off of it, and after that, I just started racing it, and been racing it ever since, about 5 years. So, been a lot of fun.
Bought it through a friend of a friend for $150. The truck was rolled over when I bought it, rebuilt the carburetor, built it for the sand dunes. Right about then, the pro arena truck started, and I've been beating on it ever since.
I bought this truck from my wife's ex-husband. It was sitting in my father-in-law's backyard, full of stuff, wouldn't even pull out of its own traction. Paid $400 for it, and now I just race it. That's all I do with it.
And Brian Slagle is going to be racing live on TNN with his wife's ex-husband's old truck.
I don't want to talk about
it. Steve Hopkins. Now here is a truck that's been massaged pretty good.
Yeah, definitely more than $400 in this one, Ralph.
Well, if this is the first time you've seen pro arena trucks, hang on. I guarantee you, you're going to enjoy this.
Oh, he's aggressive on the track, and I think that's what it's going to take. Very, very aggressiveness. Let's see if it's going to pay off in the long run. This truck's got a lot of low-end horsepower there. He kind of nosed over. It may be the thing to do tonight.
Well, the Hopkins brothers have found victory lane already this year in the pro arena trucks, and they might have it again here tonight.
Now's the shot for the big one. Whoa.
29.88.
29.88. That's a very respectable time for this track as long as it is.
Great effort by Steve Hopkins. Rick Armbrust will be up next.
Rick's been with us a lot this year. He's hauled a lot of miles, always there. Changed the truck up. Truck looks fabulous. Saw this truck win not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, up in Cleveland, Ohio.
One of the Hoosier Dome back in 1994.
Mashed the motor. Oh! And the tire didn't blow out. I'm amazed. My heavens, is this guy aggressive? Look at him run tonight. He is hard on the throttle.
Boy, he's giving those front axles all workout. And a boy!
I thought he was going to stick his arm out and keep it from turning over. Right front tire seems to be wobbling just a little bit. That's not going to stop him, though. He's going to go for the... Look at this, Ralph.
I'll tell you what, if you don't like that run, you're not going to love pro arena trucks. That is what it is all about, and they are on their feet here in Beaumont, Texas.
Ralph, I can't believe the time was that good. He was that hard on the throttle, and he had some problems with the truck.
Watch this, Mike. Look at that right front.
And it takes a beating, but now watch him bring the truck around there. I thought the truck was going over it. He did too, but just a little bit on the throttle pulled it out of it.
Here's a look at it again. Look at this thing.
I mean, it lands hard, then it rocks over on the side. Ralph, there's 6-7 foot in there. And that has got to have cost him a second and a half.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a great run. Ron Willis from Port Arthur, Texas, with the cop lights blazing.
Good-looking Dodge Ram truck coming at you.
He had trouble with the turn there, though. That's going to hurt him.
Well, this truck is beautiful, Ralph.
Oh, it really is.
He's not showing any mercy on it. Everything's staying together for him. Just slinging it into turns. He's flying the Mopar flag big time.
He owns a towing service, so he won't have any trouble getting it home if it breaks.
Right now,
it might have.
Ralph, you shouldn't have said that, Ralph.
I shouldn't have said that. It broke.
It broke. Is he going to cross the finish line? No, no rear wheel drive, Ralph.
Rear wheel drive.
Look at that. The rear end is just, I believe it's locked up because the front tires spun when he mashed the motor, and the rear tires just set still.
It still looks good, though.
Oh, it does look good. I'd look nice in that.
It looks good, though.
Thank you, Ralph.
Oh, well. Good-looking truck, but he couldn't keep it together. We are just getting underway with the Pro Arena trucks as they toss the differential into the back of the bed. Welcome back to Beaumont, Texas, one of the most unique facilities I think we've ever televised live from on TNN Motorsports. Some of the big crowd here tonight enjoying it, like this youngster here. They are still making their way in. There was a line of traffic all the way out to the highway here. You can see there are no walls to this venue, just a arched roof, big steel girders at each end.
This isn't unusual. Austin has an arena a lot like this also, open on the sides and on the end.
You would know where all of these facilities are, Mike. Bud Thomas out of Orangevale, California. Good Northern California guy, set to go.
Well, he has hauled a long ways to race in Beaumont, Texas.
Trust me, you guarantee that. And he's underway.
AAA drive shaft is just flying tonight, literally flying. Look at the air underneath that truck, and it doesn't back up, give up. He's going for it, Ralph.
This old Ford Bronco missing the entire front grill area.
And the radiator, they've moved it to the back for a little weight transfer. He's at the 27-second mark as he goes to the straightaway.
Wow, what a great run, 30-41.
And he ordered a burger and fries when he pulled up there.
Say hello to the crowd. Bud Thomas, up close and personal with the folks in the grandstand. Third, yeah, he's checking to make sure all four corners are there. Yeah, you can drive it out of there, Bud, not a problem.
And let's watch Big Budfoot, is what he calls this truck. Look at the air under this truck is absolutely unmerciful. He just keeps hammering the AAA drive shaft sponsor truck. Now watch this jump. Ooh. And the big one, Ralph.
Boy, he really flew it off of this.
Now right up, parks it, orders a burger and fries and maybe a chocolate malt.
For a
banana Slurpee.
The concoction truck, Chris McCoy.
You know, I'm really surprised this truck hasn't done a lot better. This truck's got a V6 Chevrolet in it. It's real lightweight. It seems to handle well, but he hasn't cracked that #1 spot this year.
No, but it has been getting better each week, too.
It may be just a little stiff on it, but right now he looks great.
He doesn't want to fly it, though, does it? He likes just rolling over.
Yeah, and he's backing out of it a lot. He's not hard on the throttle all the way around. See how he backs over the turns? I think that's his problem on this truck. He's not staying in the throttle. And if you're going to win in Pro Arena, you got to have both feet flat on the floor.
I don't know, Mike. He's about to hit a 30-59.
Boy, is that 30 spot becoming popular.
Different way of doing it, but might be strong enough to get him invited back for the second round. The time to beat is a 29.88, which was established by Steve Hopkins. The big area here is where everybody's really attacking is this finish line jump.
Well, there's a good flat area. There's a lot of traction out on the track. That's why that you're seeing the big runs for it. There's plenty of air to shut down also on the other end.
Next up, Eric Stevens. Well, here's the second angle of the concoction truck going over that big jump. Look at the air he has underneath there.
That's great. I love that.
There you go. There's Eric Stevens, the Wild Country 4x4. Kingsburg, California.
California Wild thing. These guys from California didn't come 2,000 miles to hang around the pit area. They want to race. Man, is he racing.
Sending shockwaves through the floor of the arena, I can tell you that every time that big truck hits the ground.
Well, it's getting a little bit of flow in the middle right about now, Ralph. Oh, just slings around and got crossed up.
Doing it all one-handed, too, with the other hand hanging on to the A-pillar on the front windshield.
We'll have to get an official time, Ralph. I didn't get a time on that one, so they'll give it us official time.
Looks like 32:24 on the clock back here. .24 for the truck from California.
Not setting as square to the ground as it was when it came in, Ralph.
No, and steaming a little bit more than it did.
And what you were earlier. Steam.
Now, Elizabeth apparently normally sits in the second seat over there, and she doesn't have a ride right now because it is smoking.
Look how hard this truck lands, Ralph. And the truck actually, we didn't slow it down that much, but the truck actually just quit right there in that corner.
Look at all the steam coming out of the radiator mounted in the back. Well, it's going to be a long tow back to California with a broken truck. Stay tuned, we're coming back to Beaumont. Well, there's a look at our luxurious accommodations here in Beaumont, but we do have a good view of the bull chutes below.
Those are bucking chutes.
Bucking chutes.
Bucking chutes.
Okay. There's the professor of truckology. And the top 5 so far with Pro Arena trucks. Hopkins, first truck out of the bucking chute.
Thank you.
With the 2988. Steve Ballard, the zebra truck, set to go. Shane Ballard, I should say.
This may be Shane's night. This truck ran third at Kansas City. It's got better all year long, longer track. Got to be aggressive on it. He hurt himself right there in the turn because he backed just a little bit. Now he's got to really go for it. He's got to be hard all the way around. Doing a great job, though, in the turns, tires turn.
Oh, that hurt.
There went a little zebra stripe off the side of it. 19 seconds down that back chute. That's beautiful, Ralph.
Out over those jumps, great.
That's perfect. Now go for it. He may be there, Ralph. Oh! Ooh,
29.86 is the time to beat, but he nipped the cone over there now. We'll have to see if there's a 5-second penalty assessed. No penalty, we're told, so that is a new quick time, 29.86. Take a look at this again, Mike.
This truck looked so good all evening long, and you got to remember, at one time the truck kind of laid down on the starting line, but the truck is handling so well. All he's done all year long is improved, and it's finally his night. This truck is flawless in this run. Watch this pass for the finish line, Ralph. It's beautiful. This is the way you want to do it, Pro Arena truck.
Shane Ballard to the top of the standings. Gary Bachman. Nope, make that again. Greg HOSMANN out of Citrus Heights, California.
Boy, this truck will be tough to beat tonight. I mean, it is one quick racer.
He's on the gas, too. Greg HOSMANN. Oh, stood it up there.
Got it on the nose. Now go. Now go. That hurt. The truck's not landing. He needs to set the back of it down a little easier.
28.78. That is the new quick time by a full second.
I want to know how fast can they go in this arena. Is this good bull dirt or not?
You would know the quality of bull dirt. 28.78. Mike, he had a couple of bobbles around the course. It certainly must have cost him, like this one here.
Well, he stands the truck up and down on his nose. I mean, it just stops, rocks to the side. That has to back out of the throttle for the truck to settle down on the ground. That's got to be a half a second, Ralph.
Here's Gary Bachman out of Washington, Illinois, the driver who tows down from Illinois to come racing with us.
Ralph, I've got to admit, the humidity was so thick that the sheets stuck together.
Extremely humid here in Beaumont.
Wild horses, and that's what you need in the rodeo arena, wild horses.
Taking his time going over the jump, so we've seen that that's not necessarily a bad way to go. It worked for Chris McCoy. I think you need to go a little quicker.
He really, there's problems. Look at the front end of it, Ralph. He's got something up against the fan, and sparks were coming out of it when he came over that straightaway underneath the front. He's got major problems, Ralph. Landed well, but there's something, the bumper has rolled underneath, probably put the radiator into the fan, and that's the sparks that we were seeing coming off of it.
See what happens when we went into into the hay here. Trouble negotiating this turn.
I think the steering wheel turns, he just did it a little deeper than he wanted to be, and at that time he knew he was in trouble.
That's what you call a push.
That is a push.
Well, this is one of the more interesting trucks. This is the one that you buy from your wife's ex-husband, Brian Slagle, from right here in Beaumont, Texas. He gets a big cheer from the crowd. One of the bigger machines here tonight, too.
Short wheelbase, but it's an extended cab Ford truck. 289 in it. I don't know what happened. He hung something on one of the cars, though. Now he's only got rear-wheel drive, Ralph.
Yeah, that hurt.
On this kind of track, four-wheel drive is going to be almost a necessity because you've got a lot of long sloping jumps.
Now remember, he did buy it from his wife's ex-husband. Maybe didn't get all the parts.
Something has broken the front drive shaft with the ring gear to the front end. Oh, yes. Good job. Good job. Can't see anything hanging down, but I think when he went over that first car that he caught something that just kind of took it out.
39-11. 39-11. Well, that wasn't the biggest Pro Arena truck here tonight.
Not by a long ways.
The one coming up next, however, is the biggest Pro Arena truck we have seen. This thing is a behemoth.
A what?
A behemoth.
Yeah, I know what a behemoth is, right?
Ran ugly? Is that what it says? Plain ugly.
Other sports it says...
We got tough and ugly coming up, but plain ugly fits.
Other sports it says finish last, yeah. Oh, and he's only got rear-wheel drive off the starting line. No front drive shaft in it at all.
I know, but I like it already.
You liked it when we pulled up in the parking lot. It's got to be the greatest.
Look at the door just flopping in the wind on the right side over here.
He's not fast, but he is going to make it.
Look at the door flopping from the rust. You see that on the bottom?
Well, it's in the lightweight deal.
Yeah, lightweight door.
You know, and
4010 for plain ugly. Plain slow, too.
No, Ralph, I think it's appropriately named.
Yeah.
Well, we got some great trucks on hand tonight. That is plain ugly.
Yeah.
They put that sticker on it to hold the door shut.
I think you're right. Andy Farmer.
Here's another guy that's not from across the street. That's HARLIN. We got a wrong sheet on it. That is HARLIN out of Nashville, Tennessee in this truck. He's ran with us several times this year. This truck is good, quick, and agile, and should do well on this kind of a track. Not real aggressive on it, but boy, he's making some beautiful time.
Oh, hung up there coming over the car.
Now
He's
you're going to
making good time, Mike. He's making really good time.
He really needs to mash the motor.
Straighten it out. 29-14 for Randall Harlan. Very smooth run.
Truck breaks loose now. If you watch when he comes into the turn, he gets the truck around the corner. Watch the truck slide out big time. Way out of shape, too far this way, but comes across at an angle, and that lets the truck land well. First year in tough trucks for him.
Don Williams.
White Bear Lake.
Up in Minnesota. This is a truck with the offset driver's compartment.
This truck is really well built. Getting around the track real well. Good looking truck all the way around.
Been racing with it since Des Moines.
It's not too far from Des Moines to say Beaumont.
No.
Good run, Ralph.
bit at the end there at 31:10. He had himself lined up nice for the run to the flags, but
Motor laid down just a little bit.
Well, you'll see how he got around this final turn.
Well, it looks like it might be, he may have gone to a stock car track once or twice. Look the way he sets the truck up, lets the back end of it come around, lines up, takes it just head on. Good landing, and that's all it took. The motor just didn't want to run.
Now we had Plain Ugly. Now we get
Tough and Ugly
with Godzilla mounted to the hood. This is one of our favorite trucks here, Dan Sutter.
454 cubic inches.
And a lot of noise.
And he shows no mercy on it. I mean, if you can attack a racetrack, this guy goes all the way, full bore on it, as hard as it'll run. Look at that!
Oh!
Almost hit the double. I think that's impossible this place. Is this attack, Ralph? I mean, this guy is on go from the time they drop the flag, and it shows on the time. Oh, there's major functioning.
Oh, no.
Drive shaft is hanging down, and, well, not only that, not only is the drive shaft hanging down, it's twisted, Ralph. It looks like a pretzel underneath it.
Tough and Ugly is going nowhere. Watch this.
This is what 454 cubic inches will do for you. Right there, it drive shaft comes out of it, and it twists the drive shaft.
There it is in the track official's hands. Godzilla's still mounted to the hood, however. He's okay. Tough and Ugly, done for the night. We are back to Beaumont, Texas. Here's the Fairplex. And the top 5 for Pro Arena trucks, looking like this. HOSMANN on top of the 2878, all the way back to ARMBRUST 3002. But some of the bigger name trucks getting ready to come out, including Mike Rosenthal, Peoria, Illinois. He's underway.
It's the first real short Bronco we've seen with any kind of power. We may see this quick time.
Oh, Mike, he's going to miss a turn.
Saved on the front. Didn't take a 5-second penalty. All he's going to have to do now is concentrating and getting onto the top 15. I think he did lose his concentration quite a bit on that turn.
Well, that hurt.
He needs to just make a finish run, keep the truck together, come back after he gets into the top 15 and push through the track like he can. He's still running well. Oh, he's out of shape.
But he didn't hit the pylon, 36.51. Well, the benchmark getting ready to roll out. Here he comes, Joe BROZOVICH. Now, I got to tell you a story. Let's watch Rosenthal.
Does well over that turn. Then the truck comes around on him and didn't back up. He wanted to back up, but he didn't do it. Got around that marker, didn't knock it down, saved the 5-second penalty.
Let me tell you a story about BROZOVICH while you get set to go racing here. Turns out Derek Cope, the Winston Cup driver, drives the Skittles Pontiac, and his wife Renee are huge fans of Pro Arena truck racing. Been watching every one of our shows. Well, it turns out Renee and Derek love Joe BROZOVICH. And Renee, who is a former Miss Winston now, we're trying to bring her out of retirement. She might become Miss Pro Arena truck, but not if BROZOVICh doesn't run any better than this.
He's in trouble. The left rear tire slid off. There's no fight there. He's high-centered. The truck is high-centered. I don't think he's got the front wheels locked in, and it ruined him. The truck is high-centered right there. See, it's setting on top of that Ford. Boy, is that a rough break or what for Joe?
Unreal. Well, you can see how he's done in 2 of the events here on TNN. He had tremendous nights of competition, but he's also had 2 horrible nights.
Watch the back of the truck. When he comes down, watch the rear end of the truck slide off the edge on the side, right in this area. He just gets it too far to the right-hand side. When it slides off, there's no traction at all on the left. It's got a limited slip rear end in it, and the right tire is spinning. The left tire doesn't do anything.
Well, I know the Copes are frustrated in Richmond, as is Joe BROZOVICH in Beaumont. some of the fans enjoying the show here tonight. Monster truck toys. Good races in the grandstand. Good bench racing up there with the young kids. And pro arena truck racing going on here on the floor. Craig HOSMANN holds on to the #1 slot right now, the 2878. Safe to say, I would think Joe BROZOVICH will probably lose his points lead in pro arena truck after tonight. Now.
Boy, that is a sad way to lose it, too.
Sean Youngblood, 17.
Bits and pieces truck. Seen the truck run a few times earlier in the year. Had a great running truck last year and had the situation where he built a new one. Finished 14th in Peoria, and it just hasn't came around the way he should. Short wheelbase. He's good into the trucks and over the truck. The bite is going away out of the track, Ralph, real quick. It's getting loose. Not going to be a lot of bite on it.
You see that chassis twist when he hit the ground over there?
Did it ever?
Oh! Boy, you feel that one in your back tomorrow.
If you can get up at all. Whoa!
34-37. It was more spectacular on the course than it was on the clock. Let's watch this again. Watch this chassis twist.
Boy, it really does bad, dude. Watch the truck. Oh, everything moves except the body on the inside.
Up next, Jeff Wendt, as you go on board with him in his big Jeep.
Well, Jeff has changed all of the suspension on the truck. And with the help of Paul, Brian, Dean, and Mike, and we wanted to say hello to Kim, his daughter, who stayed home to study for a test. His son said, I'm coming. I don't care what's happening. V8 Chevrolet in the Jeep. Let's see how it works tonight.
Oh, it rolls over.
Oh, it didn't work well.
And we went along for the ride.
Paul, Brian, Dean, and Kim, he's okay.
Well, we got more work for you when we get it back home to Minnesota. Look at that. You're upside down. Feel the blood rushing to your head?
I know, but I think I should.
Be careful when you undo the belts.
And he got off. He did a lot, almost the same thing as Joe did. He got off the side of it. Slings it in. The track is loose, but he's way off to the side. When he does, left side of the truck comes up. Ralph, the roll cage did a great job, and you can see underneath the job that they've done on the suspension. Not the way they wanted to look at it. Look at this. Up on the high side, and then over he goes.
And you're going to, don't adjust your screen. We're going to set you up straight. There you go.
Do not adjust your screen.
Jeff Wendt, he's all right.
Jeff's okay. He's crawling out of it, but look at the safety gear he's got.
Well, and that's why. That's why he is okay. You can see the truck has a good cage. Now watch this. Hang on to the Barca Lounger. Here you go.
That didn't take long, did it?
No.
You know, and it's a real simple way. You don't have to run the vacuum on the inside. There's no, you know, you just clean it right out. You dump it. He's okay.
Jeff is just fine.
He and his wife and his son came.
Well, and look at the cage. You can see the roll cage. Nothing is bent. All the tubing is just fine. They're going to drive this truck right out of here. And because he wore the proper safety gear, had a good kidney belt, had a neck roll, and a good strong helmet on top, good belts mounted to a solid seat, he's okay.
B&W Metal Works is the people that's been helping out on this truck. And the crowd gives him a great big round of applause. You know, Ralph, this is, I would say, where pro arena trucks actually got started.
Texas.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk to the guy that went upside down. He's with our guy who's usually upside down.
Jeff, that's a wild wide, but I got to say we appreciate it. We got to see it on the in-car.
Well, I tried to do my best, and that corner came a little bit fast, and I just didn't want to turn, so.
Yeah, did you have a wheel go off?
Nope, I had the wheel turned, and it's greasy in these corners. This is some really greasy clay, and it was slippery, and things like that happen. I'll put the battery back in, it'll be ready to go again. I shut it off. It was running upside down still. I shut it off, so.
That's great. So we'll see you again.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Back to you, Ralph.
All right, Fred, thanks.
Now, Ralph, I was talking about pro arena trucks starting in Texas, and I really think that's what happened. Only we used to call it chasing cows. You know, you'd go out to the pasture to round up some cows. You'd go in the pickup. There'd be a few gullies. There's a few hills. The cows would try to get away from them. That's the way this got started. You like that?
Sure.
Got some land for you, Ralph.
Next truck, Beach Patrol. Paul Price here in Texas.
77 Dodge Ram with a 400 cubic inch and a wrecker on the back of it. Now, if he breaks, do you have to call a wrecker? And he broke.
Not yet, but he's well on his way.
Something came out from underneath it on that jump. Is he having a good time, though, isn't he? Ooh. Did you hear that, Ralph?
He's giving this thing a workout.
Man.
Oh, and the big jump yet to come, and he's in the gap.
The front end lands well.
Oh, and he's got flames coming out of the bottom.
The front end lands well, but that back end is just like dropping a rock.
Look at the bed here now, Mike. It's the hood. It's separating.
That's the left front fender where the tire got up and kicked it out.
Oh, watch this, folks.
Now watch the left front fender. I don't think it's damaged bad at that. Yeah, it is, Ralph. See it flopping? Boom. Boy, that's called stiff suspension in the back. Here's the sticker truck. Oh.
Well, hard to tow yourself home, but here is the sticker truck. David PEPLOW out of Guerneville, California.
This truck.
Another Northern California guy, Guerneville.
I look for this truck to do well tonight, Ralph. It's lightweight, it's agile. The only thing that I'm seeing a problem with is the traction in the corners. As I just mentioned, it's gone.
Well,
it's just not there.
And he's got a really wild hood suspension setup out front.
Doesn't get off the starting line all that well, but maybe when it gets rolling, he's okay.
It's more like a buggy, you know that?
With a bed.
More like an off-road buggy.
Getting around pretty well. He just couldn't get started off the starting line. Too much throttle on him. I believe he's going to make the cut. He'll put it together. Now he slings it in there. Let's see if he can go for the big one. It'll land well.
30-91. He might have made it into the next round. Smoking a little bit. He's got some other buddies from California back there with him.
Well, we've got...
I think he's going to be all right. Look, it's just spilling out of the radiator a little bit, but I think he'll be all right for one more run.
I think he learned a lot off this, and I believe you'll watch him run a lot faster. Look how he sets it up in this turn. We've seen this before, Ralph. Just sets it up. Now we're straight. Go to the finish line.
Well, it's smoking a little bit. Got a favorite sticker in there anywhere? Beaumont, Texas. We're coming back. We're having some fun here in Beaumont, Texas. Hope you guys are enjoying it back there in Charlotte and wherever you might be watching it from across the country here tonight. A lot of folks talking about getting into this pro arena truck racing. Let's go down to Fred Bartson. You know, Rory Fisher had some problems leaving the race in Kansas City, and our Fred Bartson caught up with Rory to find out what it was all about.
Thanks, Ralph. That's right. I got Rory Fisher here. Man, he ran great last week in Kansas City, but he got on the interstate. Didn't go so well, did it?
No, I was passing the semi, and I kind of got a little squirrely, and I ended up flipping the truck and the trailer both and did a little damage to it.
Oh, my gosh. Damage to the truck? Why don't you show me what happened here?
Well, over here, if you'll notice... No, wait, that was Peoria. I take that back. Up here, if you know...
Oh, yeah, that looks bad.
That was Des Moines. I take that back. That it must be over here, if you notice...
now, that looks bad.
That was Colorado, actually. I guess you'll have to take my word for it. There's some damage there.
I'll take your word for it, Roy.
Okay, great.
Back to you, Ralph.
Well, Joe Brozovich thought Rory needed a little more horsepower, so he gave him this Acme-designed key, which is now mounted to the roof. Let's hope it works a little bit better for Rory than it did for Joe earlier tonight.
I think Rory's going to make it this time. He's seen what everyone else has done. He's going to work off of it. He's gone to school, as they would say. no problem over that jump. Just nailed the Toyota. I bet Jamie Lee Fisher sitting home yelling, "Go, Dad, go."
Oh, there goes the key. And so went the truck.
Oh, I've never seen this truck quit yet, Ralph.
Well, the key was from Acme. It says it.
All he has to do, I think if he can just get the truck running with broken enough truck, he'll be able to make the fast 15 if he can just cross the finish line.
Well, maybe Joe Brozovich's points lead is going to survive the night, because this is the guy that was sitting in second. He's doing everything he can to get it going, too.
That's not a good sign. When you see something like that, Ralph, you got to think that it's jump time. Maybe the timing chain is broken on it, or distributor is slipped.
They're putting the key back in, trying to fire that up that way.
Oh, that's Rosenthal up there trying to get it running with the key.
Mike's going to wind him back up. See if it helps.
I really think, Ralph, when you see the backfire out of the truck like that, that the truck has jumped time, whether it is a timing belt or what it was.
Let's see if we can pick it up here.
Truck looks good right in this area. Now watch, the truck lands real hard. Still running extremely well in the turns. Now there's where the problem starts. It's real sudden jolt when he landed over here on the side. You got to think that may have knocked the timing out on it.
Well, Rory Fisher is done. Joe Brozovich, done. Who's going to win at Beaumont? Stay with us to find out. Well, you can stack a lot of that in this building.
And that's hay, Ralph, something you probably don't know a lot about. That's prairie hay, Ralph.
Prairie hay, is there a difference?
Yes, there is, Ralph, a lot of difference.
Really?
Yes. Look like love grass to me. I just give you a look at it.
Jim Hopkins out of Missouri.
Watch, Ralph, this guy is down here with a good friend, and this truck runs well. We've had some problems earlier, but the weather's great down here. The temperature's good. Ralph, he is definitely going for it, and we may really see the lead change.
Well, Steve Hopkins had quick time earlier in his Bronco. Let's see what Jim Hopkins can do.
He's going to go to the 25 mark. Did he go to the 25 mark? 25.77. I like it.
That is quick time by a bunch.
Now, if you're sitting home and you want to build a pro arena truck and you're trying to figure out how to drive it, that's the way you do it.
28.78 was quick time. He's beaten it by 3 full seconds, Mike.
This guy is flawless. Watch the way he sets the truck up in this turn, brings the back end of it around, mash the throttle. He's lined up perfect, doesn't have to do anything but go for the finish line. Now let's take a look at it one more time, a little bit different angle. He kind of slows the truck down just to line it up. Now to the double jumps. Easy over that. This is beautiful. Truck is on the ground now. Lays it in there, puts the drift to the back end, lets it slide out. Hard on the throttle, and it is a checkered flag for that man at this moment.
And Fred Barnson's with him.
Jim Hopkins, my gosh, you're in the 25s.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how I did it. The truck is sticking really well with these narrow tires on it. Got all the horsepower I need, and I'm keeping it on the ground. I want to give a special thanks to my dad tonight for all the hard work and time he spent on this thing, and the guys at Excelsior Springs and Excelsior Auto, Big A. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Jim Hopkins in first place. Going to tear it up in the next round, too.
Well, he has definitely earned that top slot right now. Rob Mello out of California. He's done some mileage here recently.
Well, Rob Mello and HOSMANN and Ballard left Kansas City, went to Albuquerque, from Albuquerque to Medford, Oregon. This is in 4 weekends. From Medford, Oregon, back to Beaumont. Spent 2 days at home. Got some clothes washed and ironed. My mom, 4,158 miles, Ralph.
Just to race pro arena trucks.
Just to run pro arena trucks. Who says it's tough?
Rob Mello out of Fresno, California.
Hasn't won one this year. He's got the spark in his eye. He's been home. Mom said, go back out there and win one, and he is really trying. So got it sideways, and that really hurt coming off the turn. Drifted it a little bit wide. Mello hard on the throttle. This thing's got the big motor in it. Oh, just crossed it up a little bit too much.
30-21. That'll bring him back, though, Mike. That's just what he needs. Remember, folks, it is the best run of the night. Not necessarily the first round or the last round, but just the best run of the night. So he can come back, get another shot at it, and maybe beat that 25-second pass.
That 25-second pass is awesome. Watch the back end of the truck come out on the side. See how it's crossed up over there way too far on the right-hand side of the track. That put him out of shape. He gets way over to the side over on that side of the track. Now he comes with it.
Now Monster Trucks coming back out for the second round of the obstacle course. But I'll tell you what, folks, if you like what you're watching here tonight, well, USA Motorsports still has some big shows left on their 50-city tour. Any of these events close to you, make sure you check them out. Got to circle March 15th, Indianapolis, Indiana, the RCA Dome. TNN will be there for the Super Bowl of the USA Motorsports Monster Truck Challenge for 1997. The tour will march on through Reno and Vegas, Fresno, Santa Rosa, and Roseburg, Oregon, as well as Tucson, Arizona. But March 15th, we'll be there to bring it to you on TNN Motorsports. All right, after the first round of Pro Arena trucks, boy, that 25.77 from Jim Hopkins. Awesome pass. You see Steve Hopkins sitting back and forth. Think they'll swap some information?
Not a lot. You know, this is a lot of fun. But it's still, you want to keep your secrets to yourself.
Welcome back to Beaumont, Texas. That is the crowd here enjoying the evening. We actually got a standing room only crowd here. And there you see the truck still being pulled off.
Did look like a transmission problem with that truck. They fired it back up and went through the gears and just wouldn't move.
Looks like a young Jeff Gordon sitting there in the grandstand, didn't it? Here's a quick look at the Pro Arena Truck Challenge standings. That's Jim Hopkins.
Yeah, but those names are not who we expected to see up there.
No, and none of the names that we expected to see are going to make it back for the second round.
Ralph, we're going to have to check the points for third place, see if they can make a big charge tonight.
Well, you know, if you're Joe Brozovich, you got to be wondering what happened to your luck. I mean, he came out of the box beginning of the season so quick, and now he's had nothing but horrible luck last two times.
No doubt, he was picture perfect in the earlier part of the year, and problems have just come up.
All right, well, we're going to step aside here, take a bit of a recess here in Beaumont, Texas, kick things back to Charlotte, to Randy. You did that, and I think we're at the one motorsports venue in the entire United States Bruton Smith does not want to buy. Fair Park Coliseum here in Beaumont, Texas.
I don't know. I've seen some things Bruton's buying. You don't want to count this out. What were they playing with? Hot Wheels back at the studio? I love it.
Yeah. We are going to go Pro Arena Truck Racing, and if you're wondering about the Hot Wheels comment, my partner over here is a huge collector of Hot Wheels. So,
don't tell me why.
We're going right back to the beginning. This is a guy that had quick time earlier on.
Hopkins was fast. He knows he has to take about 1.5 seconds off of it to save anything out of this. Second place won't do. And Ralph, he's going to do it. He is going. If that thing will stay together, and I'm sure it will, he will shave it off. That hurt that turn. He backed out of it a little bit. He's hard on the throttle. Ralph, he's going to do it. He needs to get around the corner and get on the Ford. Come on, Ford. Let's go to that finish line.
27-22. He picked up over 2 seconds, Mike, but still not enough to beat the 25.79 of Jim Hopkins. Let's see what happens. Boy, he really tried to get on the gas coming out of that final turn. Well, let's see if he had trouble hooking it up.
It laid down in that corner. He's got good air when the truck lands. Now let's see what happens when he comes around back out of the truck, and there's no traction, Ralph. That thing has just gone away completely. Too much horsepower, not enough bite, too much rodeo.
You can see those rear wheels spinning.
Went a 30.02 the first time around, Rick did.
Rick Armbrust, and this was the wildest ride, remember?
Yes, and
this guy stood it up on the corner.
30.02, that is a great run for this arena until you put it up against the 25-second starting line. He slowed down on the starting line.
Well, maybe he's changed his attack strategy.
Ooh, he almost got
to be a little smoother.
Well, that big Ford is really hard tonight. Can't believe the front end stayed together.
Same corner, same problem. Worse results, though.
Yes, it's 7 foot off the ground in the back, and when it lands, something is going to break.
Look at it dangling. Look at it dancing.
That is
not the Macarena.
No. I don't know that beat, but I can tell what's happened. It didn't break the U-joint. The U-joint's right there. It snapped the shaft, the pinion shaft out of it, Ralph. And what happens is when he gets so high in the air, he is still on the throttle as hard as it'll run. And maybe we'll get it slowed down and stop. Now right here, he's hard on the throttle. When it hits the ground, the tires are trying to go, and the pinion shaft, which comes out of the rear end, snaps off. At that point, the U-joints are still intact, but the pinion shaft is gone.
Look at it dancing around it. And he's trying to go slow so he doesn't smack it all the way back up through the floorboards.
There should be a little shaft sticking out of the rear end. It is, but it's hooked to the drive shaft. It's nothing that money won't fix.
No, not a lot of money either in this series. Next guy.
That's in 10. That's Bud.
Budfoot.
Budfoot. Bud Thomas out of
Orangevale, California, little suburb of Sacramento, my hometown.
Just happened to mention.
Know exactly where that is.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You probably live down the street from it. Now, Bud went 30-41 first time. Bud knows he's got to go hard this time.
Come on, Bud.
Oh,
see you, Bud.
Bye, Bud.
He's got the door open, though, and all the bodywork coming on.
Bye, Bud. Bud hauled out here with a U-Haul high cube van and a U-Haul trailer. And Bud's out of the truck.
And he's got a problem. A lot of fluids.
Well,
watch this.
All right. Come on, Bud. Bud has had the same problem that had bitten more than one guy tonight. And it's that turn. Bud tries at the last second to turn into it, correct it, but it is too late at that time. It's over.
Well, if you're going to do that, though, Bud, make sure you got the in-car camera.
I don't know. That's a pretty good angle right there, Ralph.
Near the door open up.
But Bud stays in. Bud leading well. Now he sets the truck up, and he just gets it a little bit wide. He tries to correct. It's too late. Now watch him. Bye, Bud.
They call that a Tommy tip over in the sprint car world. Budfoot's done for the night. Problems for Budfoot here in Beaumont, and Fred Bartson is with him.
Yeah, that turn down there, Bud, seems to be taking out the big guys, including you.
Yeah, I went a little too hard into the corner and knew I wasn't going to make it, so I figured I better nail it instead of so I didn't get stuck like Joe did, and I just went too hard in the corner and just, when I hit it, it just tipped her over.
What is it about that corner?
I think everyone's taking a little too hard. They're going a little too fast at it and overshooting it, just like what I did.
Back to you, Ralph. We'll see if anyone else misses that turn.
Well, too bad for Bud Thomas and Budfoot. Hopefully we'll see him back on the tour. Chris McCoy in the concoction truck. Getting a rerun, and 30:59 was his effort in round one. I think he can work on that.
Yeah, Chris didn't lead well, but now look how close. Chris went the opposite side. He went the other way. He is going for it. Come on, V6. Backed out of it a little bit. I think that was smart because he stood it on the nose. That 25 is so far away at this time.
Here, Mike.
Yeah, that is bad news.
28.62. Well,
holds on to third
place.
Picked
up 2 seconds. Let's watch how he went around that really tricky turn here at the beginning.
Watch what he does. He goes to the other side of the car. Instead of going across the trunk area, he moves over into the inside area. Cuts it across the side. Actually, just other end of it, he catches the trunk instead of going in across the hood. That's a well-built little truck.
Special thanks to everybody back home. You mean everybody? Read all the names.
Dad, Sherry, and Lonnie, Rick, Bill, Gary, Brent.
Here's a truck that stands a big shot of moving up in the point standings. You see the zebra truck back there, Shane Ballard.
He could be the big winner out of this and not win the race itself, Ralph.
Absolutely.
Look the way he's gone to the starting line. He's got the truck already set at an angle. Instead of going even with the starting line, he set it to an angle a little bit. That's going to set him up for this first turn. You got to think he can run quicker than 29.86 like he did the first time around. Really not on it all that hard, Ralph.
Well, but you might want to save some time there if you think you can make it up later. Go into that first turn a little bit easier.
15-second mark.
Oh. This truck is quiet, not one of the louder trucks, but he's going pretty good.
Left front tire doesn't seem to be working. The steering's gone on it.
Oh, yeah. Struggling here, big time.
Steering is just really, really problem.
That's too bad. I really thought Shane had a chance of really moving up in the points. Now remember, Brozovich and Fisher are all out of the points. Armbrust was second, or make that third in the points. He's out of the second round. Rosenthal struggling. A lot of guys that stand a chance of maybe making up some ground here tonight.
The big problem on this racetrack is that when you're going over the wrecked cars, they're getting either off of them on the side or too hard and nosing down.
Eric Stevens up next. This is one of those trucks out of California.
Yep. Kingsburg, is that close to you?
Not as close as Orange.
Okay. Did just what the other people said not to do, and that's go hard into that turn.
Well, remember, this truck was smoking a little bit after its opening run.
I think that was steaming behind. Hopefully he's got it cooled down now.
Takes a different approach to the double jump. Oh, and he overtook
Too much.
it.
Too much throttle, not enough bite.
Trying to utilize the horsepower, and it just didn't work.
Didn't improve on the time at all. Oh, if anyone that's sitting here can do it.
Here's the guy.
And Ralph, he still has to do it. He still has to shave 3 seconds off the run.
Well, that's very true.
3 seconds is a monster in this kind of business. Greg HOSMANN.
HOSMANN sits in about 6th position in the point standings coming into tonight. So if he does, he might really be able to pull something out of here and get himself into the contention for the title at the end of the season.
Well, the race, as we both know, has just tightened up immensely. Watch the little truck from the golden state of California. Let's see how he goes at it. Beautiful over the first turn. Good over the first jump. Now let's see how he lines up, comes around. This is important.
Remember, he really spun the tires coming off the last turn in his first round run. So let's see if he's improved on that.
Ralph, this may be a slower, faster situation.
Yep.
He's
working on it. 27.86.
He took a second off of it, but it banged on him.
Well, that ought to move him into second place, wouldn't you think?
Maybe third.
Maybe third. Third? Third position.
Look at the stitching on the roof with it.
All right, so he'll take third for now, and that'll certainly help him out in the point standings. He might move up a couple positions.
Not real hard over those, but very smooth over them. The truck stays on the ground, so the bite stays with him all the way around. Loses a little traction on that side of it, but I don't think at that time it made a lot of difference. The Wild Horses truck.
Gary Bachman, Washington, Illinois.
Sponsored by the Napa dealer up there. See how he attacks this thing. He's got good horsepower in it. Now, the brake lights came on. That's a giveaway that we're on. Giveaway that he's not on the throttle when you hit the brake lights. There's the brake lights again over that jump.
I want to disconnect those.
Not going to be at the 25 mark.
No.
And that was a brilliant call because it was on the screen at that time. He just almost had a rear end.
Well, Motor Madness is coming your way from Beaumont, Texas. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to this. We're back to Beaumont, Texas, and I got to tell you, we've kind of been picking on the arena a little bit. That's only because it's unusual. Beaumont, Texas, we've had a lot of fun down here, and this rodeo arena is a little bit unusual for a motorsports event, but it has been a great time here, and these pro arena truck drivers are really having a lot of fun trying to hit that 25.77. And I'm not so sure anybody's going to do it, but I think maybe Jim Hopkins might lower that before the night's over.
Ooh, would that be a feather in the old racing helmet?
Yeah. He's already got one win on the tour. Randall HARLIN is set to get a shot at it.
Let's see how the big Ford truck works. And it is a big Ford truck compared to some of the rest of them we've seen here.
Different shades of black on this truck this week, too. I think he's done some work to it.
I think he's trying to get it straightened out. Didn't come off that car very well, though.
Cooked it into the turn a little too hot.
Ralph, I can see you behind the seat in one of those. I can see you sitting there driving one of them.
I would love to try.
We're going to get that hand.
Something tells me you have a trick up your sleeve.
Oh, yes, you'll love it.
Randall HARLIN needed a trick.
Little hard in the throttle, crosses it, and back into the truck's out of shape. At that point, though, the clock had ran out on him. He wasn't going to get the win. He might have improved a little bit, but not a lot.
All right, here's that truck out of Minnesota.
Don Williams.
Do you know where White Bear Lake is?
In Minnesota. No, my geography. This Ford Bronco's getting around. Don's doing a good job with this truck.
Well, as you said earlier, they've really been working with this thing. It debuted in Des Moines, struggled there a little bit, but they have really been coming on stronger and stronger each week. Ooh.
Not a good place to land.
Pushed into turn. And a 30-30. Mike, you talked earlier about the different makeup of the rodeo dirt. Is that one of the reasons why we're seeing so many guys struggling to get traction, you think?
Rodeo dirt will not get the compaction in it that a clay will. And the reason is because the rodeo dirt has hay in it and various other materials in it. And they plow it a lot because they don't want a hard surface to land on when you get bucked off of something. They want it to be fairly soft. They wouldn't want the clods in it. To take those out, they would disc the arena to get it so it's just kind of fluffy. So when you land, you don't...
powdery like snow.
That's kind of what you want.
So it's probably one of the reasons why we're struggling with traction.
Exactly, because the compaction's not there. These things, it would take a lot of water and a lot of work to ever make this thing. It wouldn't get a good bite. It would get hard and slick. Rosenthal.
Well, this is a guy that stands the best chance of making some ground in the point standings. He's fourth coming into tonight.
You got to think that Rosenthal just wants to make a good run. Doesn't want to bonsai it. He doesn't want to overdrive the truck. I think he just wants to really make a smooth run. As you said, he's got the top two guys out. He's making a good pass on it. He's got a good time, and he's going to be, up in the top portion of this race.
He can straighten her out. 30-46. 30-46. I think that's going to leave him in about fourth or fifth position at least, right? Not much higher than that.
And that'll help his shot for the championship.
Well, especially when BROZOVICH and Fisher are going to come out of this with no points.
Don't back out of it, whatever you do.
So Rosenthal looking to make a move in the championship chase with the Pro Arena trucks. We go racing in Beaumont. Beaumont, Texas, standing around the Gulf of Mexico, about an hour and a half outside of Houston is where we are. There's a guy that helps put this all together.
Well, he is the man behind the scenes. And you talk about do it all. This guy absolutely does it all. And we have to say a very special thanks to Kevin because he does such a great job.
He really does. He's working real hard, as have all the folks at USA Motorsports. Have done a great job in helping us bring you Pro Arena truck racing and monster truck racing live for the first time ever on national television. what?
34-37 first time around, Ralph.
He's got a lot of work to do. Needs about 10 seconds.
Boy, and the jump is in so much trouble on.
It really killed him.
The traction is gone, and it's just really getting sandy down around that car. Now, that's not a good sign, Ralph. When you see the smoke come out from the bottom side of it like that, that's kind of maybe oil going up against something that's hot. You don't want oil out.
Oh, he's going to run it into the ground, though.
Don't just...
Come on, John. She's begging for mercy.
I think the motor's history. I think we may need to find something else to power.
But he's got a crowd that loves it. And if he's going to burn her up, he's going to burn her to the ground first.
You know, this may be a disgust situation. He had a truck that ran good last year, built a new truck this year. It hasn't performed the way he wanted to. Let's just see how hard it will run. And he knows it's in trouble. And the smoke coming out of it is not pretty. It's a costly situation, but he doesn't back up. He keeps it on the floor, and this crowd responded with a great ovation.
All right, the sticker truck. Dave PEPLOW out of Guerneville, California.
You know, Ralph, one thing that's behind on this truck is it's so low to the ground.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's more like a buggy. It's not like a truck.
It needs a little more ground clearance on the truck to run this kind of a course. The desert races probably would do real well, but just to run the big hills like we're doing here, it needs a little more ground clearance.
Needs a better motor so you can hear it really struggling.
Humidity is so high.
30-57.
And no front brakes on it.
Not what PEPLOW was looking for. So the sticker truck is done. Well, here it comes.
Mr. Go Fast.
Was the winner at Kansas City.
Yes.
Almost didn't come here. Last minute decided to load it up and tow to Beaumont.
Big jump.
Boy, this is going to be exciting to watch.
I love it to hear when these guys say, thanks, Dad. You know, and that's the first thing coming out of his mouth. Thanks, Dad, for all the work.
And you know, Dad's watching right now. Here he goes.
Not resting on his laurels, Ralph. He is not letting up. You know, some guys would hold back. This guy's going to go for it again.
Remember, he does not have to improve on his time, but he's trying anyway.
Gosh, that's a beautiful pass.
Smooth, really smooth.
Look at the left.
Oh! Wow! Up on its side. Up on his side.
Boy, have these people been bit by the track tonight. And every turnover we have had has been at this end of the arena.
And he's out of the truck.
Every turnover we have has happened in this particular area. They're going to go on the blue Ford. He gets it up, catches the left front tire.
Yeah, it just hit that car there, and that's what sent him over.
He just caught the corner, the right corner of the car, and that laid it over on its side. Doesn't look like there's any damage to it whatsoever. He may get back in it, fire it up. No.
Wow, well. You hear the crowd. That says it all. Well, let's go down to Fred Bartson, who's with a guy who's really had some big highs and some big lows tonight, Fred.
Boy, you can say that again, Ralph. Went from first place to on your head, Jim. What the heck is the deal with that turn down there?
I got a little tight coming around that last car. Got to lower my time. We drove a long ways to do this. I felt really good about the first one. I thought I could lower it, and I think I probably would have. I just got a little tight on that last car.
Well, it's a real heartbreaker. Jim Hopkins out on his side.
Well, the good news is that Jim's okay, and it doesn't look like Dad's going to have to do a lot of work on the truck. I don't think it was hurt too bad.
The real good news is he's still in the lead.
Absolutely. Just a couple of trucks, maybe just one more to go. Rob Mello out of Fresno, California, I think is the last truck to take a shot at it.
I like Rob Mello. I like everything about his truck, where it came from, how it happened. I like Mello's style. One-man band. Yeah, thanks, Mom.
Oh, he's giving it everything, too. Come on, Ron.
Get its head up. There you go. Mello with a real great time.
Oh, 5-second penalty. You take out an orange cone, and it's automatically 5 seconds. So tack 5 seconds onto that 30-24.
But he was at 30-21.
Yeah, they'll take the 30-21 from the earlier run. Let's take a look at the replay.
Well, Mello's going for it, and that was just so brutal on the truck when it landed like that. This is the big finish. Now watch the back end of the truck come around. When it gets around on this side, then he's in a little trouble. Now he crosses it back up, takes it out on the left front. The cone is right there, and that's going to cost him 5.
Oh, but he did have the 30-21 from the earlier run. And the crowd here at Beaumont enjoying some of the Pro Arena truck competition, and Mike and I enjoying these lovely, spacious accommodations.
Oh, I'm having a great time.